Hello and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone who has come along to the session today. My name's Scott, the Academic Director here at Swoosh English, and it's just very nice to see everyone who's come back here today for another session here with us at Swoosh. So I just want to first of all confirm that everyone can hear me and that everyone can also see me as well. So please just send me in a comment regardless of where you're watching on the Swoosh channels, on the official OET channels, but let me know that you can hear me and that you can also see me as well, please, guys. And welcome once again to the session today. So we got quite a few people in watching today. I'm looking forward to taking part in this class as well. So yep, just send some comments in, guys. Let me know that you can hear me and let me know that you can see me as well. Once I've got a couple of people that have said that they can, then of course you are more than welcome to, I'm more than welcome to begin with the session today. Great, so people can hear me and people can see me. So I have all of the stats that I need. And you'll see at the bottom left-hand side of the screen, guys, that I've included my email address today, scott@swooshenglish.com. So if everyone has any queries about anything that happens in the session today, you can send me an email and I'd be very happy to help you out with any of your OET preparation questions. Okay, so let's see who we have today in the session. Let's see how many people we have. So we have Leno, we have Dee, we have Iniobong, we have Joy, we have Tejas, we have Maria, and we have Hazel, who've already commented from Swoosh English. Welcome to the session today, guys. Hope you're all going well with your Swoosh English studies. Everything is going very well for you. We have Sanjita, we have Arya, we have Reem, we have Dennis, we have Nithya, we have Manju, we have Asha, Ubong, Vimal, Susan, Tenzin, and Eldhose and Mercy watching over on the OET YouTube channel. Welcome to the session today, guys, and thank you very much for joining. As for over on the OET Facebook feed, we got, a lot of people watching, so I'm not going to get to say everyone's name, but I'll try. Divya, Divine, Dejitha, Dexter, Deanna, Eddie, Semina, Ada, Kishan, Jinu, two more, Tai, and Athulia watching over on the OET channel. Welcome to the session today, everyone who I've called by name, as well as those who I have not had a chance, of course, to say by name. But as you know, there are a lot of people in the session today. So welcome. Anyway, to those who are new to these sessions, my name's Scott, the Academic Director from Swoosh English. I've been an OET teacher for the last number of years, and I help a lot with the OET and IELTS preparation programs at Swoosh English. I'm from Ireland, where I currently am as well, and it is currently 8:04 a.m. in the morning. I've got a couple of questions now for everyone else in the session today as well. Can you let me know where you're from? What time is it? And also when you are taking your OET exam. 3 questions, guys, just to get us warmed up before we begin our speaking session today, and gives me a chance to interact with some of you all in the session today. 1, where you're from. 2, what time is it? And 3, when are you taking your OET exam? Maybe you have the date already chosen. Maybe you're still thinking about it. Doesn't matter. And let me know if you have a date booked already, and if not, have you have a rough indication about when you're taking the OET exam? So let me know in the comments, please. That would be absolutely great. Okay, so let me just see who we have in the session who said hello. Okay, we have Remya from India, we have Khalid, we have Anna from the Philippines, Rehab from Saudi Arabia. We have Rehab said it's 11 o'clock. Basma says it's from Libya, and it's currently 10 a.m. Ahmed is from Khartoum, and it's currently 10:02 as well. Thank you very much, guys, for throwing in those comments. That's great. Okay. All right. So we have Anna from Saudi. It's currently 11 o'clock. We have Jesus, who is from the Philippines. It's currently 4:05 and taking the exam later next month. Okay. We have HB Combo. What a great name. Is from Saudi Arabia. It's 11 a.m. planning to do the exam in May. Okay. Nikki from India, 1:35 and taking the exam in 2 months. Harish says 11 a.m. still has not decided. And Jitbin from India, 1:35 taking the exam May 22nd. So a good number of candidates today are taking the exam either this month, next month, or the month afterwards. Fantastic. Okay, let's get a few more comments before we begin with this session today? Oh, let's start off with some absolutely great news today. Okay, one of our own Swoosh English students called Mine has just told us, I have good news for you. I have passed the test. Thanks for all your help. Mine, congratulations. Well done for taking the exam and for passing it. Fantastic news here for everyone in the session and some motivation for everyone. Mine, what were your results? How did you get on in this session? Please let us know. But everyone, let's welcome and congratulate Mine for passing her OET exam here with us at Swoosh English. Fantastic work, fantastic. Haskam is from the UK. It's 8 a.m. and taking the exam on April the 10th. Okay, a couple more people. We have Divya from Dubai. It's at noon, taking the exam in 2 months' time. Okay, guys, great. Thank you, everyone, for all of your comments and letting me know. We got a nice international bunch today, different time zones throughout the world, and a lot of you are taking your exams incredibly soon. So I want to wish everyone who's taking the exams, of course, the best of luck in their OET preparation. I hope everyone is preparing adequately for their exam. It is very important that if you only have a month or two to prepare for your exam, that you are giving it all that you can. Of course, we at Swoosh English, as well as the other OET premium preparation providers, are the great resource for preparing for your exam and ensuring that you pass it the first time. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for letting me introduce myself. Thank you very much for introducing yourself to me as well. And of course, I will endeavor throughout the class to try and interact with as many of you as possible throughout the speaking session. If you have any questions at all throughout the session, of course, you can send me an email, scott@swooshenglish.com, and you'll see my support team also showing in their email address for our support team, Swoosh English, to help you with your OET queries, support@swooshenglish.com as well. So make sure you send us an email if you have any questions about anything at all. Okay, well, let's get started into today's class. And I've got a good class, of course, for everyone today. Everyone is, of course, looking forward to this session, I'm sure. So before, of course, we begin the session today, guys, I want to know how everyone feels about their OET preparation. Do you feel like you are ready for your OET exam? Are you feeling prepared? Are you feeling like you're ready to go? Or is there anything else that you feel with your OET preparation, guys? Please let me know in the comments just before we continue with the class, and then we will get going with it. So how do you feel about your OET preparation here with us at Swoosh or in general? Okay, just waiting for a few comments to come in. Looking forward to hearing how everyone is feeling about their OET preparation leading up to a month's time, the month afterwards, etc., etc. Okay. Just give me a second, guys, to load up my PowerPoint. I believe there's been a small error with the program. So just give me a second, guys. And then once it's ready to go, we will ace on with this session. Okay, here we go then. All right, guys. So looking forward to moving on with this session today. All right. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. My PowerPoint is actually not responding at all whatsoever. So just give me 1 second, guys, and then we will continue with the session. One moment, please. Okay, guys, and we're back, and the tech problem has been fixed. So let's get on with the session today. Okay, so as you know, we at Swoosh English love to do many different kinds of live classes here at Official OET. And of course, aside from our live classes that we've done with, we're doing currently with the mock speaking test, we do have previous sessions on various types of vocabulary, medical idioms, medical phrasal verbs, collocations and context, medical theme colloquialisms in use, and synonyms and antonyms. If you're interested in those classes, then you can check them out on the official OET page, as well as the Swoosh English Facebook page as well. So make sure you go ahead and check us out on those channels if you're looking for some more live content here from us at Swoosh. Also, in addition to that, we at Swoosh English are currently offering some great quality free resources known as our free OET Masterclass. It's a part of a 4-video series showing you all the tips, tricks, methods, as well as the appropriate way to study for your OET exam presented by myself, as well as access to a great OET guide to writing. So if you are interested in that masterclass series, I suggest you sign up as soon as possible. It's completely free and the best way for you to get off on your OET preparation at the best way. So if you're interested, you'll see the links here in the comment feed. You may as well sign up today to our free OET Masterclass. Looking forward to having you guys in them. Okay, so what are we going to be doing in today's session? Well, the lesson aims are as follows. We're going to learn and review the scoring criteria for OET speaking. So it's absolutely great, of course, if you know the criteria already, but I want to emphasize how important it is that you know the criteria for OET speaking so you can produce the language needed in the exam as accurately as possible. You're going to take part, of course, if you're lucky, in a OET mock speaking role play with myself. But of course, if you don't have a chance to do so today, then you get a lot of value for listening to that session today as well. So make sure, of course, that you either are listening well or you are speaking well if you are getting a chance to speak to me. Of course, you're going to listen to the feedback given by myself at the end of the session, but I also want you to give your own in the session today as well. I want this class to be as fun and interactive as possible. As the interlocutor, I can't pick up on everything on the session today, so it would be great for someone else to throw their comments in during the session as well. And then, of course, if we have some time, there will be a brief Q&A at the very end, so you have a chance to ask your OET questions to me, or at least have a chance to do so afterwards throughout the session. Okay, so let's start by looking off at some of the criteria for the OET exam. Now, many of you are probably, hopefully you're used to the OET criteria at this point, but if you're new to OET preparation, then the criteria might not be in your mind as of yet. As you might know, there are 2 sets of criteria for the OET exam. We're going to look at the first one together, which is the more general linguistic criteria that you might see in other exams as well. But let's have a look and see what OET are asking you to produce on the day of the exam. So the first set of criteria is linguistic criteria. You are assessed on your intelligibility, your fluency, your appropriateness of language, and your resources of grammar and expression. Let's start off by looking at intelligibility. So in your intelligibility, it is the impact of your pronunciation, your intonation, and accent on how clearly your listener can hear and understand what you are saying. Okay? So your pronunciation, of course, is the sounds that you make in the English language, your vowel sounds, your consonant sounds, your blends, your diphthongs, etc. How accurately are you able to pronounce the various sounds? Your intonation, do you rise and fall as is appropriate? Or do you speak flat like a robot the entire time? Make sure, of course, you vary your intonation as is appropriate. And then finally, your accent. So just so you know, guys, having an accent is not actually a problem. I have an accent, you have an accent, we all have accents, okay? We don't all speak the same kind of English. And there's many different types of English in the world. There isn't just American English or British English. What this means is that if you have a particular heavy accent, which may impede your pronunciation, which may impede your intonation, that you try your best to reduce that as much as possible, that you speak as clearly as you can. Like what I'm doing right now. If I was speaking full on Irish with you right now, You wouldn't understand what I'm saying. So having an accent's fine. Just make sure that, of course, it isn't overly heavy and you reduce it slightly. And of course, the best way to do that is to get some feedback from an OET teacher in terms of what your intonation, your intonation, your pronunciation, and your accent is like overall. But don't worry if you do have an accent. Okay, let's look now at the second set of criteria, fluency, which is the impact of the speed and smoothness of your speech on your listeners' understanding. Okay, so speaking in terms of fluency is not all about speaking as fast as you can, not about as fast as you can. It's about as smooth as you can. So you want to make sure that you are speaking as rapidly as possible, but there's no breakdown in your speaking, aka hesitation, repetition, self-correction. You want to try and avoid all of that. And the best way to do that, of course, is not to speak as fast as you can. General guide I think is pretty good is you think about how fast you speak in your native language and bring that back just a little bit for your English speaking exam. That will hopefully give yourself a bit of extra time to, of course, formulate the grammar in your head, formulate the response, think in your second language, and therefore that will hopefully result in less hesitation, self-correction, and hesitancy. So make sure, of course, that you do not speak as fast as you can for your fluency. Would be my advice for that. Okay. Next, we have the appropriateness of your language. So do you speak in a professional tone with professional authority in your relevant role? Okay, are you speaking like a doctor? Are you speaking like a nurse? Are you speaking like a pharmacist, etc., etc.? It shouldn't be super formal, but also shouldn't be informal as well. Think about what is a professional tone in your language and try an appropriate, obviously develop that and sustain that so that your listeners are able to understand and, of course, is appropriate for your profession. Then finally, we have the resources of grammar and expression, which is the impact of the level of grammatical accuracy and vocabulary choices on your listeners' understanding. So, of course, it's not about the range of the grammar you use. Your grammar should only be as complicated as it needs to be. You shouldn't be showing off with the future perfect continuous mixed in with the third conditional, for example. Don't try and show off with your grammar. Use, obviously, as complicated as you can, but also as appropriate as it needs to be as well, because the overcomplicated grammar can, of course, then take away from your tone of professionalism and might just make your language sound a bit strange and a bit unnatural. So, of course, it's great to, of course, know your grammar and know your vocabulary and use it at a high level, but only as complicated as it needs to be. So please keep that in mind when you are doing your own speaking practice. And if you can't use a grammatical structure overly well, of course, you should learn how to use it. But if you can't the day of the exam, try and use something that's a little bit simpler. Okay, guys, that's the first set of criteria, linguistic criteria. Think about your intelligibility, your fluency, your appropriateness of language, and your resources of grammar and expression. Who can tell me what is the second set of criteria for the OET exam and the more unique and interesting kind of criteria in my mind, because it is unique to the OET exam? So throw in some comments, guys. Who can tell me what is the second set of criteria for the OET exam? Please throw the comments into the comment box here, and I will try my best, of course, to respond to everyone here and just get your opinions on the matter. Let's see who here, of course, has been practicing the OET exam for a long time. You're very aware of the criteria. Maybe some people are new. Oh, there we go. Someone has said it already. Sharil has said the clinical communication criteria. Awesome. Thank you very much, Sharil. That is correct. It is the clinical communication criteria. Any bonus points for anyone who can tell me what the clinical communication criteria are? Who can tell me what they are? Please let me know. Hi, Adrian. Nice to see you again today in the session. He's also said the clinical communication criteria as well. Okay. And we have Mahmoud and Nature has said clinical criteria, close enough, but there's also one more word in that as well. Clinical communication criteria. Okay. So while I'm waiting for some of the comments to come in here on the session today in terms of what the criteria are as part of clinical communication criteria, let's have a look at what that is so we can look at it in our session. Okay, so here are the clinical communication criteria. We have relationship building, understanding and incorporating, providing structure, information gathering, and information giving. Okay, let's have a look at these one by one. relationship building, which is the impact of your choice of opening to the conversation and demonstration of empathy and respect on your listeners' comforts. Okay, so empathy would be the key word here for this set of criteria. Can you build a relationship? Are you being as friendly as possible? Are you being as warm as possible? It's not just, of course, about diagnosing the issue, solving the problem, and getting rid of the patient. Do you want to be warm, you want to be welcoming, you want to be friendly to them, okay? And respect your listeners' comfort, okay? Like you would do in your ward, for example, or your practice, etc. Okay, so also a key word here is to think of opening to the conversation, all right? So a good way to start off well is, of course, to have a nice, warm, friendly, yet professional opener. Don't say something like, hello, how are you? Or hi, how are you? Can I take your name, please? What's the problem? Shouldn't be something like that. Could be something like, hello, my name is doctor or nurse so-and-so. I'm going to be attending you today. How have you been feeling? And what seems to be the problem today? Something like that. Something to introduce yourself, to ask them how they feel, and also gets to the point of the issue as well in the beginning of the role play. So warmth, empathy from the very beginning is important to get that criteria started, as well as demonstrating empathy throughout the role play as well. So understanding and incorporating the impact of how fully you involve the patient in the conversation on your listeners' understanding and comfort. So the key words here would be involve the patient in the conversation. Don't forget that this is a dialogue, everyone. It is a two-way conversation. And a lot of times when I see or I hear or even take role play practice, sometimes the doctor and the nurse might be just so nervous to get the role play done and make sure they cover the entire card that they are speaking the majority of the time, maybe 70, 80% or more. Remember, you want to try and get the patient involved as much as possible, having a two-way conversation. Of course, a great way to do that is to ask them questions, to give them ways to open into the conversation as well. So make sure, of course, you're not speaking overly long, that you're still finding ways to give the patient a way to interact. That could, of course, be asking open questions about the situation, asking closed questions about how they feel, as well as just demonstrating empathy throughout the conversation as well, giving them a chance to tell about how they feel and for you to respond. You also want to engage in what I call active listening as well. So when the patient is telling you about some things, you can just go, okay, right, yes, even parrot certain words back to them. For example, repeat certain words they might be saying as well to understand and to show that you're listening, that you care, and that they're not talking to a brick wall. So make sure that you're involving the patient as much as possible, but you're also making it a dialogue as much as possible throughout the conversation. Okay. Next, of course, is providing structure, which is the impact of how you organize the information you provide and introduce new topics for discussion on your listeners' understanding. So once again, there's an emphasis there on bringing up new topics of discussion to involve the patient as much as possible, to get them involved, to have a dialogue. Also paying particular attention to the structure of your role play, aka your greeting or your introduction, okay? Initial remarks, all right? Just a way of building some rapport and breaking the ice. Diagnosing the situation, the patient will tell you about that. Ask some follow-up questions about that situation. Let the conversation flow through the role play cards while keeping it a dialogue, checking for understanding and making sure you're getting them plenty of questions to ask. Make sure there, of course, is a takeaway at the very end, the next steps, what's going to be happening with the situation. And then, of course, your farewell at the very end. So it should be nice and warm, and it should be nice and appropriate and warm as well. It shouldn't be, okay, bye-bye, see you later, as some candidates often do whenever they're about to finish the OET exam. They forget about having a nice formalized and appropriate ending at the very end. They go, okay, bye-bye, and that's it. Something like, okay, thank you very much for coming today. I really appreciate you asking me your questions about your situation. Of course, we're doing our best to help you. And if any more questions or any more queries, you can come back to us at any time. Thanks a lot. Hope you feel better. Bye-bye. Something like that. Okay. Depends on the situation. But of course, make sure it's nice and suitably friendly and clinical at the very end as well. So think about your structure and think about how you can involve the patient as much as possible. Next, we have the information gathering and information giving criteria. And these two are often interlinked. So we have the impact of the type of questions you ask and how you listen to the responses on your listeners' understanding. So this is mostly referring to your open questions. Can you take the information on the role play card and can you turn it into a question? So rather than tell them about the effects of a certain drug that you might be recommending, you might say, okay, so what do you know about this medication? Do you know anything about its side effects? Try and take everything on, not everything, but some things on the card and turn it into a question, because that's a great way to make it more into a conversation. The responses don't have to be long, but it will also help you to provide structure, and it will help you, of course, to understand and incorporate. So ask your questions at the very beginning, but also ask your questions throughout. Involve the patient, gather information from that information, or from the information on the card. Likewise, information giving. So this is basically about the impact of how you provide information and check this information is being understood on your listeners' comfort and understanding. So these two obviously go together nice and well. So likewise, you'll be asking information from the patient. You'll be giving them information back, but you want to make sure that, of course, they are okay with that information and that they understand it as well. So you've asked them about the effects of a certain medication. They've told you about what they know. They then asked you to explain more. You explain that information. You say why you think it's a good or bad idea, depending on the role play. You then want to make sure that they are clear with the advice that you have given. A phrase such as, is this clear to you? Are you okay with this? How do you feel about this? Ask phrases like this throughout the role play when you're giving information to check for their understanding. They might say, yes, no problem, okay, doesn't matter. You clarify with them, they're okay with it. You can be sure then that you've done your part in imparting that knowledge onto them and that they follow you and understand you. Something that's often overlooked and does take maybe some training to do so. But information giving, make sure you are checking for their understanding when you're giving that information throughout the role play. My advice for that. Okay, guys. Anyway, that's a bit of a breakdown on the clinical communication criteria and the linguistic criteria. So I want to see how well people can produce that language today for our scoring criteria in this part of the exam. Okay. So the next part of the class before we begin some speaking practice is, of course, taking a note of the assessment questions. So I'm going to bring these up on the screen here, guys, in full screen. Here are a series of questions that we have made here at Swoosh English, which are basically a rough guide to seeing how well you have produced the language, the structures, etc., that would actually be needed to score highly in this criteria. So let's have a look through a couple of them very quickly. Linguistic criteria. Did the speaker speak clearly and was easy to understand? That, of course, is referring to your intonation, your pronunciation, and your accent. Did they vary their pronunciation, intonation relevantly? Once again, pronunciation and intonation. Did the speaker speak fluently and smoothly with few hesitations and false starts? Your fluency. Did the speaker use appropriate language and tone? Did they use relevant and correct vocabulary and grammatical structures? So these questions have been formulated to assess how well you've done with the linguistic criteria. Likewise, clinical communication criteria. Did the speaker speak in a way that offered empathy and support? Did they listen to the patient and respond effectively and appropriately? Was the delivery of information structured appropriately? Was the patient satisfied with your delivery of information? Some questions formulated to assess how well you have done with the clinical communication criteria. So before we get into the next part of the class, guys, which is going to be the mock speaking practice, I want everyone to either take a photograph or a screenshot on their computer of this criteria, because you can use this really, really well, not just in the class now, but take it away when you're doing your own speaking practice in your school, with your friends, with your colleagues. A great way to assess each other in your speaking practice, guys. So I'm going to bring them up one more time. Make sure that you take a picture, guys. Very useful for now and for afterwards. And when you have done so, please send a comment in to the Facebook feed, to the YouTube feed. Let me know that you have done so. Once a sufficient amount of students have done so, then we will get on with the class. Okay, guys, make sure you're taking a picture of this criteria or a screenshot. so we can use this moving on. Thank you, Nature. Let's see who else can do so. Thank you, Wada. Thank you, Sidra. Great, couple of people coming in. Thank you, Adrian. You're very welcome. Another few seconds, guys. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Ferial. Thank you, Reem. Thank you, Crazy. Thank you, Sharon. A couple more, guys. Thank you, Reham. Okay, 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Awesome, guys. Thank you very much for doing so. So I hope everyone's enjoying the class today. If you are enjoying the session, then obviously send us a like, send us a love heart, send us a laughy face, something like that, or even throw me a comment, guys. Let me know how you think the class is going today, if you're enjoying it, etc. I'd be more than happy to read them as well my support team as well. Okay, let's now get into our speaking practice for today's session. Now we've done the groundwork, the introductions are done. We talked about the criteria. You're now prepared to assess that criteria in the speaking practice today. So let's get on now with the next part of the class. Okay, guys, here is role play number 1 today. And role play number 1 is for a doctor. As we can see here, the card does say, a 45-year-old office worker presents complaining of tiredness and feeling unwell. The patient appears to be overweight and thinks he or she may have diabetes. He or she has a busy office job, 3 teenage children, and a spouse, and says he has no time to exercise. Okay, so I'm now going to start the timer for 3 minutes in preparation for this role play card. I would like some doctors to come and join me in the studio today, and we'll get a chance to get someone to do some speaking practice. So I'm going to send an invite link into the Facebook feed and to the YouTube feed. If you want to come and join the class, click in the link, set up your microphone and your camera, but you don't have to join the class. Make sure, of course, you have a good internet connection and you've got a nice quiet background for which to do some speaking with me. And that way there's no interruption as well. So looking forward to having you in the session today, guys. I want everyone to prepare for this role play in case, of course, you do get a chance to speak. Of course, that way you can prepare for giving some feedback in the session today when someone else does some speaking as well. Okay, guys, so let's start the timer for 3 minutes. I want everyone to prepare for the role play. Doctors, come and join me in the session for a chance to do some live speaking with myself. And good luck, everyone. 3 minutes has begun. Okay, guys, and that's the 3 minutes up like you would on the day of the real OET exam. Hope everyone had enough time to prepare and is feeling ready to go into this this session now with some speaking. Of course, if you're getting a chance to speak, that's great. And if not, then of course you can do a lot about your preparation today and give advice to the other students today who come into the session. Okay, we got a couple of people who have joined us. Let's see if one of these people are ready to begin some speaking. Okay, so the first person to join the session today, I'm going to give them a chance to do some speaking with me. And that person is Eslam. Hello, Eslam. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I joined late, so I couldn't have enough time to prepare for the card.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm sorry, I'm going to
I
give a chance to
think
someone
I
else if the
have that
microphone isn't working. But thanks for joining, and
section, but
please enjoy the role play session today.
I
Okay. Hello, Yasir. Can you hear me? Hello, Yasir. Can you hear me? Okay, Yasir, once again, I'm going to give someone else a chance to do some speaking today, but enjoy the session. Hello, Daniel. Can you hear me?
Hey, hello. I can hear you. Am I clear enough? Audible?
Hi, Daniel. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you
yes,
turn
I
on your
can.
microphone?
I can hear you. I can hear. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think I'd mute my microphone. Just a minute.
Hello, Daniel. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you very clear.
Okay. Sorry, I can hear you now myself. I'm not sure what the issue was there, but thank you very much for joining me today. How are you getting on?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You?
Very well, thanks. And can you tell me a bit about yourself, where you're from, and when you're taking the OET exam?
Yeah, I'm a doctor, a medical doctor, currently working in Kenya, Africa, East Africa.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm planning to take the exam sometime in April. I've not quite booked the exam yet, but I'm yet to.
Well, that's fantastic, Daniel. That's absolutely fantastic. And thank you very much, of course, for joining me today in the session. So,
Yes, yes, I'm excited.
okay, Daniel, give me 1 second. I think I'm just having a slight issue here with my computer. Give me 1 little second. Sorry, Daniel, can you tell me again where you're from and also when you're taking the OET exam? Apologies for that.
Yes, I'm from Kenya, which is in East Africa.
Fantastic. And when do you plan to take the OET exam?
I've not booked it yet, but I'm planning to do it in April.
Okay, fantastic. And how have you been preparing so far at this point?
Yeah, been doing a lot of online stuff, mainly just from your website and the main OET website.
Fantastic. Have you been getting feedback on your speaking and your writing?
Yeah, but yeah, still working on it. I've not really gotten a tutor yet, but I'm planning to get one in the course of next week.
Okay, good choice, my friend. I would highly recommend, of course, that while self-studying and interest is good, it is important that you are getting speaking, writing, and feedback, because I want to make sure, of course, that you are prepared for this exam to pass it the first time, and feedback on
Yes.
speaking and your writing is essential. But anyway, that's why you're here right now. We're going to involve ourselves in some role play speaking practice. Okay.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm very happy. I love meeting new students and interacting with people in these sessions. So you are more than welcome to begin this role play whenever you feel ready, Daniel.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm quite ready, but yeah. Yeah, I think I'm ready to go.
Okay, I think you're going to be great at this. All right, so just go through it. This is only practice today. Just do your absolute best. Okay.
Okay. Wish me luck.
I do wish you luck, as is everyone else here in the session today. They also wish themselves luck as well. Wish you luck as well. So whenever you're ready.
Just trying to get the screen. Okay, ready. Okay. Good morning. My name is Dr. Daniel, and I will be your doctor today. Can I have your name, please?
Oh, hi, Dr. Daniel. My name's Scott. Thanks for seeing me.
Yeah, and how are you today? How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm not so bad. Thanks for asking. Well, I have been feeling quite tired and quite unwell recently. And I'm here because I'm just
Yes.
worried that I could have diabetes. I've read about it a lot in the newspapers, and apparently feeling tired and unwell is a symptom of it. So, I mean, I'm here for a checkup to see if there's anything more to that.
And just tell me about your symptoms and exactly what about the symptoms that has made you think that you could possibly be having diabetes.
Sure. Well, as I said, I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling kind of sick at times, but also I get dizzy sometimes, especially when I stand up.
Okay.
I've been always thirsty recently as well. Always thirsty. I know that's a sign as well. Um, I've been getting breathless very easily, especially when walking upstairs. I didn't used to
Okay.
happen to me, and I've had some itchy skin, especially on my arms recently too.
Oh, I see. I understand, and that can be quite frustrating, and I understand. And we're going to go through that. And let me also just get to know about your lifestyle. Are you how active are you? Do you do exercises? How is your work?
Okay, well, I do have a very busy office job, doctor. It's
Mm-hmm.
quite stressful and it takes up a
Mm-hmm.
lot of my time. So,
Yeah.
to be honest, when I finish work, I just want to sit in the sofa and do nothing. I do have three teenage children, though, and they take a lot of my time as well. So, I guess I don't really do much exercise at the minute.
Oh, I see, and that's understandable. Yeah, and in keeping with your symptoms that you're saying you're feeling tired and feeling unwell and just generally sometimes just feeling dizzy. Um, I understand, and now that you've told me more about your lifestyle, that you have kids and that you don't have much time to exercise, that could in some to some extent explain some of your symptoms.
Mhm.
But that's not to say that there are things that there are tests that we run to just confirm this. But in keeping with your symptoms, I think it's also just important you understand that this can be contributing factors.
Mm, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and also, is there up to that stage? Do you have any questions? Is there anything that is not clear?
I guess my next question, doctor, would be if I do have diabetes, then how can it be treated?
Oh, I see. Okay. So, if this is confirmed, which is usually just you go through some tests, and then if unfortunately you happen to have it, then you depends. So first we will start with it's called lifestyle modification. So just basically working on your diet and then your exercise, and then maybe if that is not still controlled, then we might go into some taking some oral medications, just the medication that you take like tabs.
Yeah.
And then if it gets worse and it's uncontrolled, then we might go into using insulin. But this depends whether you have type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Maybe you can tell me a bit more if you know anything about diabetes, or you want me to go into details and explain a bit more about it to you.
Oh, I don't think that's necessary, doctor, but yeah, I understand that diet and lifestyle is important as well as some medication. So what can I do now to ascertain if I have diabetes or not? What can be done? Because I really want to know.
That's a good question. So the first step would then be for you to do a blood test,
Okay.
which then they check your blood sugars, and then the doctor who will do the test will be able to explain the results and all that. And then you come back and get your test results. And
Mhm.
consequently, then depending on the outcome of your results, then you're being able to now advise on the next step forward.
Okay, so a blood test then. is required. Okay.
Y-
And yeah, I'd like to organize a blood test and then make an appointment to discuss the results afterwards, if that's possible.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, we'll always be here whenever that you're ready, and we can discuss and talk about it, and talk about the long terms and everything about diabetes and your diet. But we're praying and hoping that you actually don't have diabetes, and this is just something to do with your lifestyle.
Okay. Well, that's great, Doctor. Yeah, thanks for your help today and for seeing this through with me.
There any questions, anything that you'd like me to clear?
And no, that's okay in the meantime. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the next steps.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for visiting today, and hope to see you soon.
Good. Thank you very much, Doctor. See you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. And Daniel, the role play is finished. How did you get on with that role play today?
Oh, I'm not sure. I felt like I wasn't empathetic as I should.
Well, you need to be kinder to yourself, my friend. Certainly be a bit kinder to yourself. So let's engage now in some self-feedback and some self-reflection. What do you think
Yeah.
you're good at in the
I
role
felt
play? You were good
I
at
felt
today
like
as well.
I felt like I was quite fluent.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
felt like
certainly.
there was a bit of flow, and that we were having sort of a two-way conversation between me and you as being the role play.
Yes, certainly. I mean, you're obviously a very gifted speaker of English because you are able to sustain fluent speech quite effortlessly throughout the entire role play. Very little
Yeah,
hesitation, very little false starts, etc. So well done with your fluency overall. Pronunciation, intonation for the most part was quite good as well. There were a few small pronunciation errors. For example, you said diet, you said diet. So you said
oh, okay.
something's very minor, very small pronunciation issues overall. For the most part, your grammar was also correct. There were a few small errors I did pick up, such as you said to me, "You depends on you."
Okay.
There should have been "it depends on you." That could have been
It
a slip while you were speaking. So a few small grammatical errors like that, but
yeah.
they're only minor errors at all. And I do think that overall it was pretty good in terms of in terms of that criteria. So the two things I
Thank
picked up: great introduction, by the way, good, strong, and friendly introduction, welcoming yourself and me to the clinic. You asked some great questions about the symptoms, asked me to elaborate on them. So that was good for that criteria in terms of information gathering. So very good. You expressed empathy, clear aspects of empathy twice in the role play. One when I was talking about the symptoms, and one when I was talking about my busy job. So great for
Yeah,
that. One thing you could have done, though, to improve not just your information gathering, but your
yeah,
information giving. Your information was good, by the way, but check for
yeah.
understanding more often, more closed questions. So you ask quite a lot. Do you have any questions about? Do you have any questions about that? Oh, I'm going to say no, no. Try and make it more of
Yeah.
a closed questions. How does
Uh,
that feel for you? Are you okay with
uh,
this, etc.,
ye-
etc.
I see. I see. Well noted. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think
you're very welcome. Try and think every time you're giving information, clarify
yes.
from my understanding with closed questions, not so much open questions such as "Do you have a question?" Okay. So
Oh,
ask a
I
few
see.
more
I
of
see.
those. Okay.
Yes.
Your outro was good as well, though. So suitably nice, friendly intro, but the outro was also, or the farewell, the ending of the role play was great as well. One
Yeah.
thing I want to mention to you though was your time management as well. The role play was nearly six minutes in length.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did. I wasted a lot of time on the symptoms up to discussing the significant symptoms. Then I lost a bit of time on explaining diabetes. So I felt like, yeah, I think I should have managed my time better.
Yes. Believe it or not, more patients often go overtime than undertime. So
Uh,
just be aware that you don't have a lot of time to address each point. Time does fly. So when you feel
yeah,
like maybe you're on a certain point for an over long period of time, try
yeah.
and conclude that and then move on to the next point. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
6 minutes would be a little bit in the long side. The role plays aren't strictly 5. They can be something a little bit longer if you, of course,
Yeah.
are concluding your role play. But if you're still on your points, if 5 minutes touches, then the interlocutor may stop the role play in the day. So just be
Uh,
more aware of your time management with that. But apart from that, it was a great role play. You did well in a lot of your linguistic criteria and some of your clinical communication criteria as well. Just time management would be good to complete the role play, and think
Yeah.
about ways that you could ask more closed questions to check my understanding, and maybe engage in some more active listening as well. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, thanks for that. Phrases to show
Okay.
that you're listening
Oh,
throughout as well. Okay.
thank you. Yeah. Thank you so
Well,
much for that feedback.
you're very welcome, Daniel. Make sure you continue to get feedback on your speaking as well. It's very, very important.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome, Daniel. I want to wish you, if I don't see you again either in these sessions before your role play, before your big OET exam, I want to wish you the best of luck and hope it goes really well for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for doing such a fantastic job. Really appreciate you helping so many students, and looking forward to more classes.
Hey, thank you very much, Daniel. And I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. See you later and enjoy the rest of the session.
Okay. See you. Bye.
Okay, guys, and that was Daniel, our first roleplay practitioner of the day. And I think everyone will agree with me that he did a great job in that roleplay so far today. And Maria Mary has said that he did so well, and I do agree he did do so well as well. Nars J has said, "Good job, Mr. Daniel. You're really good in English, and you have confidence in talking in English as well." So yeah, I agree with that. Daniel needs to have more confidence in himself to ensure he can do well in the exam, because he did absolutely awesome there. Rini said, "Good speaking." Nufa said, oh, sorry, Hamid said, "Fantastic, well done." And Arina also said, "Well done" as well. Fantastic, guys, as well as everyone else. Thank you very much then for everyone, of course, for doing that role play with me and taking part in the feedback, etc., etc. Okay, so before we, of course, just move on to the next role play, I just want to remind everyone here in this session today that, of course, we at Swoosh English currently have a free OET masterclass open now. If you sign up today, you get access to 4 videos telling you the tips, tricks, and methods, as well as the appropriate way to study for your OET exam, presented by myself in that 4-video series. You also get free access to an OET guide to the writing subtest as well. So if you are interested in that, and I highly recommend you do, it's completely free, then sign up today by clicking the link in the Facebook feed to join our free OET masterclass today. Looking forward to having you in that session. Okay, guys, role play number 2 of the day, and this time it is for a nurse. You see an 18-year-old patient who is in his or her last year of high school. He or she is worried about an approaching examination and having an emotion-related panic attacks. He or she is seeing you for advice on how to manage them. So if you are interested, of course, in taking part in this role play today, then make sure, of course, that you click on the link in the Facebook feed, in the YouTube feed where you're watching. Come and join me if you are a nurse. I welcome to having you in that session today. So likewise, everyone, like last time, we're going to have 3 minutes to prepare and then 5 minutes to speak at the very end. Preparation time starts now, guys. Keep an eye out for the link if you're a nurse, and come in and join me for a chance to do some speaking. 3 minutes, guys. Good luck preparing for this role play. Okay, everyone, and that's the 3 minutes up. Guess what? That time is not long going by, and it's the exact same in the role play as well. You wouldn't believe how fast those 3 minutes and 5 minutes go by. So thank you very much, everyone, for taking time to prepare. And thank you for a couple of our guests coming in to join me here in the Swoosh English speaking studio today, as we'll call it. So our first person to join today was Mike. Mike, I'm going to give you a chance to do some speaking today. Hello, Mike. Can you hear me?
Hi, Scott. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thanks. I'm very, very well. Tell me a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Mike from Abu Dhabi. I'm an oncology nurse, and I'll be taking my OET on April 10th.
On April 10th. Wow, not long to go for your exam. So how are you feeling about your big exam date?
I'm not that 100% ready because, of course, I can't juggle up review and work, but I think we can manage by your help. Thank you.
Well, that's why you're here today, right? So
Yes.
get some great speaking practice, yeah? So which part of the exam are you feeling you need the most assistance with and the most help with?
Definitely writing. Writing, and I think speaking also and listening. Yeah, those
Sure.
parts. And so all of it.
Everything. Very, very good. So have you been getting feedback on your speaking and writing?
I have a friend that's checking on my writing. And for the speaking, I have this also another friend. They're not OET or IELTS teacher. They're just native speakers. But I think I'll be enrolling myself to some of the master classes or online lectures.
Well, you should be for
Yeah.
sure, because even though your friend might be a great native speaker, you have to make sure that they know the criteria very well, so they know what
It
to
has
do
to be.
for the
I
exam.
know.
Anyway, yep, there's still time, of course, but let's see how you get on today with your speaking role play today as well. All right, good luck, Mike. I'm looking forward to doing the speaking practice with you. So I'll start the timer here now for 5 minutes. You can begin whenever you feel ready and comfortable. Okay.
All right.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so good afternoon. My name is Mike. I'm your community health nurse. May I know your name, please?
Oh, hi, Mike. My name's Scott.
Hi, Scott. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm not doing so bad, thanks. I'm here because, well, I'm very nervous about. I'm a high school student, right? And I'm very nervous about an exam that's coming up. I hate exams. I really, really hate them. I'm so nervous about it. And I've been experiencing some strange symptoms, which I think might be related to my nerves. But that's why I'm here today, to get a diagnosis on this.
Okay, I am very sorry, Scott, to hear it. Okay, I'm very sorry that you are experiencing this. I know this must be difficult for you, especially since it's not usual to experience this and these symptoms for you.
Mhm.
Now, could you please tell me a bit more about those symptoms?
Sure. Well, I've been having shortness of breath randomly when I'm sitting down sometimes. Trembling. I just started shaking. I'm kind of shaking right now because I'm nervous about this. My heart just starts beating randomly without doing any exercise, etc. Sometimes there's even a tightness of my chest from that breathing, which sometimes is accompanied by pain as well. And yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm very sorry to hear that. I know if that happens to me, I will also seek medical attention. Now, what are the like the usual scenarios wherein you experience these symptoms?
Oh, they can happen really randomly. Sometimes when I'm outside, sometimes in my house. They usually last for about 20 minutes, and they previously weren't as bad as this, so they've become worse.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, Scott, based from the symptoms that you have told me, it is an indicative signs and symptoms of a panic attack.
I thought so.
Okay. Do you know anything about panic attacks? If I may
Uh,
ask?
I know they're happen when you're really worried, a bit like I am right now. And I thought I was having a heart attack, or a heart attack was about to happen.
Okay, all right. Now, I would like to reassure you that these panic attacks are a normal response. Okay, it's a feeling of like being anxious or nervous or fearful if something, if you're expecting a something like a very important event, for example, an exam. Right? You have
Yeah.
mentioned that you have an approaching major exam, and I think that's quite normal. And I would like to reassure you that it happens to anyone. It happens to me also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I can definitely assure you that what you're feeling is normal. Now, the best thing that I can do for you is to make some recommendations or some self help treatments, if that's
Mhm.
okay with you.
That would be great. Yeah. Thanks
All
for that
right.
information. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now, some self help treatments like before exam, you can go to a quiet space, for example, a cafeteria, or for example, a chapel, right? Before you enter to that exam room, if you
Mm-hmm.
can,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, meditate or like visualize something peaceful, all right? And also, practicing eating healthy habits might help also. Like, for
Sure.
example, yeah, like the usual fruits, vegetables, and rest, good sleep, to name a few. Those are the healthy habits that you can do prior to your major exam that can diminish your panic attacks. Does it make sound good to you?
Yeah, that does. I mean, it makes sense, right? Do whatever I can to feel good, and I practice some of those sometimes, like deep breathing and relaxation. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
I'll just keep in mind of that, so that I can do that more often. Is there anything else that you can do to help me as well?
Yes, actually, there's one more. I would like to recommend if you can attend to a support group,
Mm,
maybe in a community health center. Yeah, if time permits for you and if it's okay with your parents, you can go on a weekly visits or
yeah.
participate in some exercises for relaxation and breathing. That would help you also minimize panic attacks during major events such as exams.
That sounds great. Yeah, I'd love to go to that. So if I can get signed up, that would be great.
I know, that's right. Is there anything else that I can help you with, Scott?
And no, nurse, thank you very much for seeing me today. You made me feel much better about the situation. And yeah, thank you for your advice. I'm feeling more confident about it now.
Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing you ace those exams because of these self help treatments.
Thank you, nurse.
Thank you and see you around. Have a great day.
And we're done with the role play, Mike. How did it go
Yay.
for you?
I'm very nervous. I'm experiencing the panic attack.
Are you having a panic attack yourself? Yeah. What's so funny
Yeah,
about this role play is that some people are probably in the same situation right now. They're preparing for an exam and they're trying
I
not to
know.
panic. So everyone who's preparing for OET today, please listen to Nurse Mike. His advice was great. Make sure you eat well. You've got practicing your good health habits. You're getting enough sleep, etc. So listen to Nurse Mike as well as you can. So, Mike, what do you think you were strong at today in that role play?
I think by sticking on the task given, because I'm from what I've read from the articles, just look on the verbs and on this task, just focus them one by one. And then I think I did well on listening and or focusing to the patient symptoms, and from there, I'm
Mhm.
working on the next questions, relevant questions. I think that I did well.
Sure. And is there anything you think, oh, I wish I could have improved that? Was there anything you were aware of in your role play?
Uh, yes, I think some what's this like transition phrases or
Hmm.
like the emphatic phrases. I think I'm just boxed with the sentence. I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry you're experiencing this. I think if I have known other terms or sentences, I think that would be great for a smooth conversation.
Okay, so your signposting and your transitions, you think you maybe could have improved upon that a little bit. So I'll just go through what I picked up on this role play for you overall. Okay.
Yeah.
Great introduction, by the way, nice and friendly, but also suitably clinical too. So well done. You expressed so much empathy throughout the role play, and your empathy just felt so genuine. There was cases of indirect empathy, but also, excuse me, also direct empathy as well, where you said, for example, this is how I feel myself. I've experienced this myself, and that's a great way for you, for the patient to feel calm. Oh, the doctor and the nurse goes through this, so they go through that, then, and they know what to do. Then I'll feel much better as well. So well done in showing some of that direct empathy. Very, very good. Plenty of empathy throughout the role play. You came across as very warm and caring. Okay, I love how you used the phrase "let me assure you." Let me reassure you, sorry, that was great. So that obviously did do a lot for me to mentally unwind. You made a good use of asking appropriate questions about the situation, especially when it came to asking about symptoms. What you could have done, though, to improve your information gathering is, instead of tell me about recommendations for self-care, you could have asked me, so what do you do to feel better? When you want to relax, Scott, what do you do yourself? Oh, I like to breathe deeply. I like to go for runs and exercise, for example. You could have said, yeah, well, based on that, I'd recommend that you do that. And also you could try this as well. So what you did was you just told me things about self-care, but you could have made it more interactive by asking me, what do you do for relaxing in your own time? So try and think about ways you can make a question out of absolutely anything in the role play card. If that makes sense to you, Mike. Okay. In addition to that, I do think, oh yeah, the empathy was good. Your pronunciation was good. Your intonation was good. You were a very, very fluent speaker throughout the entire role play as well. A couple of things that you could have maybe done to improve was that there was a little bit of hesitation sometimes when you were trying to link your ideas together, which maybe created a bit of some incoherent speech. So if you actually listen back to the role play, there was a bit of hesitation with at times when you're trying to link your ideas together. Of course, thinking about that, maybe slowing it down a little bit and finding better ways to transition would be a good way to improve that. The next thing I want to say to you as well was that the role play maybe was a little over long, 5 minutes and 45 seconds. So even though I think your empathy was great throughout and your explanations were good as well, try and just reduce that a little bit. Because as I said to our previous student today as well, Daniel, it is important that you are aware of your time management and you do find ways to reduce that time, because it can be tricky when you're doing this role play practice. 5 minutes is not a lot of time, and students do often go over time than under time. Okay. So 3 takeaways from this today, Mike. Apart from that, it was a great role play, by the way, across most of the criteria. Try and think of ways that you can ask more open questions.
Open question.
Into a question. Be aware about, obviously, how you can fluently piece your sentences together. So, of course, your fluency overall is quite good. You're able to speak at length, but maybe there was a bit of incoherence at times when you were trying to link bit to bit. And also think about making your speaking a bit more concise to reduce that time down to 5 minutes. So think about areas that maybe you overspoke at a bit. Could I have said less about that? Was I talking about a point too much? Can I reduce that down a little bit?
All right. Thank you so much, Scott. I wrote down those notes. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Mike. But great role play today, and I want to wish you the best of luck with your exam coming up very soon. Take care.
Thank you so much. All right.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Bye.
And that's the second role play of the day done, guys. We've gone a bit over time today, but I don't really care. I love doing these sessions with everyone. I love speaking to everyone. I love enjoying these sessions too. So well done, Mike, and well done, Daniel, for the role play practice today. We had Vinitha has said he did very well, except for some hesitation, a little bit of hesitation. That's right. Anyone else want to give any feedback on today's session? Rue said, well done, Mike. Jessica said, good job, Mike. Adrian said, well done, Nurse Mike. Georgia said, thank you, Mike, as well. And of course, we have all thought that Mike did an absolutely fantastic job in that session today. So of course, the feedback that I give both Daniel and Mike today was, of course, to think about asking more closed questions throughout the role play, guys. Can you think about how we can say, is this okay for you? How do you feel about this? Check for their understanding and making sure they're taking all that on board. Time management was an issue today with some candidates as well. Remember to try and reduce what you're saying a little bit. If you're going over 5 minutes, you do have to keep your points concise, so you're moving on to the next part of the role play as much as possible. And the next piece of advice I would say too is to try and make everything into a question. So if you see something on the role play card and you think, wow, I could actually ask the candidate about this, then do so, because that will improve your information gathering, and it will also improve your ability to develop rapport with the student, which will improve all of that criteria as well. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for allowing me to host this session today. I hope everyone did enjoy it. If you did enjoy this session, give me a like, or whatever else you can do on YouTube and on Facebook. You can give likes. Give me a like and give me a comment. Let me know how you found the session, and I'll try and say a few of those before we end the session today, but I hope everyone did enjoy it overall as well. Okay, so before we finish off today, guys, a couple of announcements I want to make. The first one is that from next week, Swoosh English will be doing, not every 2 weeks, every week we will be doing a live session with official OET. And of course, as well as these speaking practice sessions that we are doing, we're going to be doing some lessons on listening and reading as well. So the next few months, we're going to be having a listening class, speaking class, reading class, speaking class, etc., alternating. I will announce what the class is every time, but next week we're beginning with OET listening, a guide to part A. If you're interested, that class will be Friday, 2nd of April at 9 a.m. UK time, so the same time as this class was, and on the same day. So let me know how you feel about that session upcoming. Are you excited to do some OET listening practice with Swoosh English? Let me know in the comments quickly, but I'm looking forward to doing these new OET classes every week with Swoosh, with OET Official. In addition, guys, one more chance to tell you about our free OET Masterclass. If you are interested in our Masterclass series, then click the link below in the Facebook feed, as well as in the description of the video itself. You'll get access to 4 videos presented by myself, tips, tricks, strategies, as well as the best way for you to prepare for your OET exam, as well as access to a free OET writing guide as well. So sign up today to our free OET Masterclass. I look forward to having you in those sessions with me. So thank you, Cheston. Thank you, Vinitha. Thank you, Elizabeth. Everyone enjoyed the session today who has sent in the comments. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Mona Lisa. Thank you, Raquel. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Gina, as well, etc., thank you, everyone. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Nature. Thank you, Anna, and thank you, Reem, as well. Thank you, Vahan, for all the ones who have actually come in and said that they enjoyed the session today. So, guys, thank you very, very much for joining the session today. I hope everyone has a great day, that you're preparing adequately for your OET exam. Make sure, of course, you're getting all the help and assistance that you need, because that means you will pass the OET exam much, much quicker and for much, much cheaper. And of course, if you are doing your OET exam very soon, I want to wish you the best of luck with your OET exam date. Make sure you come and join me with the OET and the free OET Swoosh OET Masterclasses. And I will see you all next week for our brand new listening and reading class series from next week. So thanks so much for joining, everyone. Any questions that way? Yeah, we're going that way. Yep, there we go. Scott@swooshenglish.com. Send me a message, send me an email about any of those questions, as well as our team at Swoosh English support at swooshenglish.com. You'll see that in the comments, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks a lot for joining, everyone. Have a good day.